Hello, good day to everyone, guys and friends around the world. My video today is my MARPOL video 6, Annex 5, Part 2. This is the prevention of pollution for garbage from ships, entered into force on December 31, 1998. Please click the subscribe button so that you will be notified on my next videos. Introduction. After viewing this video, you will be able to enter records in the garbage record book, discuss the effects of garbage pollution. You will state the principles in reporting pollution by garbage, explain practices in garbage pollution prevention, identify special areas and requirements for disposal outside special areas, and you will be able to illustrate proper way of garbage segregation, describe procedure in collecting, processing, storing, and disposal of garbage, explain equipment for garbage disposal. Reception facilities. Government of each party to the convention undertakes to ensure the provisions of facilities at ports and terminals for the reception of garbage without causing undue delay to ships and accordance to the needs of the ships using them. The government of each party shall notify the organization or IMO for transmission to the parties concerned of all cases where the facilities provided under this regulation are alleged to be inadequate. Exceptions: the disposal of garbage from ship necessary for the purpose of securing the safety of a ship and those on board, or saving life at sea, or the escape of garbage resulting from damage to the ship or its equipment, provided all reasonable precautions have been taken before and after the occurrence of the damage for the purpose of preventing or minimizing the escape of the accidental loss of synthetic fishing nets, provided that all reasonable precautions have been taken to prevent such loss. Port state control operation. A ship when in port of another party is subject to inspection by officers duly authorized by such party concerning operational requirements under this annex. Where there are clear grounds for believing that the master or crew are not familiar with essential shipboard procedures relating to the prevention of pollution by garbage. In the circumstances given in paragraph 1 of this regulation, the party shall take such a step as will ensure that the ship shall not sail without the situation has been brought to order in accordance with the requirements of this annex. Procedures relating to port state control prescribed in paragraph 5 of this present convention shall apply to this regulation. Number 4. Nothing in this regulation shall be construed to limit the rights and obligation of a party carrying out control over operational requirements is specifically provided for in this present convention. For placards, garbage management plans, and record keeping. Number 1A. Every ship of 12 meters or more in length shall display placards which notify the crew and passengers of the disposal requirements of Regulation 3 and 5 of this annex as appropriate. Letter B. The placard shall be written in the working language of the ship's personnel and for ships engaged in voyages to ports or offshore terminals under the jurisdiction of other parties to the convention should be in English, French, or Spanish. Number 2, every ship of 400 tons gross tonnage and above, and every ship which is certified to carry 15 persons or more shall carry a garbage management plan, which the crew shall follow. Number 3, every ship of 400 gross tons and above, and every ship which is certified to carry 15 passengers or more engaged in voyages to port or offshore terminals under the jurisdiction of the parties to the convention, and every fixed and floating platform engaged in exploitation of the seabed shall be provided with garbage record book. Letter 3A, each discharge operation or completed incineration shall be recorded in the garbage record book and signed for and the date of the incineration to discharge by the officer in charge. Number 3B, the entry of the incineration or discharge shall record the date and time, position of the ship, description of garbage, and the estimated amount incinerated or discharged. The garbage record book shall be kept on board the ship and in such a place as to be available for inspection in a reasonable time. Letter B, in the event of discharge, escape, or accidental loss referred to in Regulation 6 of this annex, an entry shall be made in the garbage record book of the circumstances of the reasons for the loss. Number 4, the administration may waive the requirements of garbage record book for any ship engaged in voyages of 1 hour or less, which certified to carry 15 passengers or more. Number 5, the competent authority of the government of a party to the convention may inspect the garbage record book on board any ship to which this regulation applies while the ship is in port or offshore terminal, and may make a copy of any entry in the book, and may require the master of the ship to certify that the copy is a true copy of such an entry. Record book shall be admissible to any judicial proceedings as evidence of the facts stated in the entry. In the case of ship built before July 1, 1997, this regulation shall apply as from July 1, 1998. Shipboard garbage handling and storage. Limitations on the discharge of garbage from ships as specified in Annex 5 are summarized. Letter A, compliance with this the limitation requires personnel, equipment, and procedures for collecting, sorting, and processing, storing, and disposing of garbage. Number 1B, compliance with the provisions of Annex 5 will require carefully planning by the ship operation and proper execution of ship members as well as other seafarers to ensure that the most effective and efficient handling and storage procedures are followed. Number three, collection. Procedures for collecting garbage generated aboard ship should be based on consideration of what can and cannot be discharged overboard while en route. Other garbage can be disposed of at sea. Receptacles for each of the three categories of garbage should be clearly marked and distinguished by color, graphics, shape, size, or location. This is an example of garbage operations on board a vessel. Crew responsibilities should be assigned for collecting or emptying these receptacles and taking the garbage to the appropriate processing or storage location. Use of such a system will facilitate subsequent shipboard processing and minimize the amount of garbage which must be stored aboard ship for return to port. Plastics and plastic mix with non-plastic garbage. Plastic garbage must be retained on board ship for discharge at port reception facilities unless reduced to ash by incineration. When plastic garbage is not separated from other garbage, the mixture must be treated as if it were all plastic. Letter B, food waste. Some governments have regulations for controlling human, plant, and animal diseases that may be carried by foreign food waste and material that had been associated with them. For example, food packaging and disposable eating utensils. This regulation may require incinerating, sterilizing, or other special treatment of garbage to destroy possible pests and disease organisms. Letter C, other garbage in this category includes, but is not limited to, paper products, rugs, glass, metals, bottles, crockery, dunnage, lining, and packing materials. Letter D, additional receptacles which may be useful. Separate cans or bags would be provided for receiving and storing glass, metal, plastics, paper, and other items which can be recycled. These are some examples of segregation on board a vessel. Synthetic fishing nets and line scraps generated by the repair or operation of fishing gear may not be discarded at sea and should be collected in a manner that avoids its loss overboard. Recovery of garbage at sea. Fishermen and other seafarers who recover derelict fishing gear and other persistent garbage during the routine operations are encouraged to retain this material for disposal on shore. Seafarers are further encouraged to recover other persistent garbage from the sea as opportunities arises and prudent practice permits. Oily rugs and contaminated rugs must be kept on board and discharged to the port reception facility or to be incinerated. Processing, depending on factors such as type of ship, area of operation, size of crew, and so forth, ships may be equipped with incinerators, compactors, comminutors, and other devices for shipboard garbage processing. Processing, depending on the factors such as the type of ship, area of operation, size of crew, which may be equipped with incinerators, compactors, comminutors, and other devices for shipboard garbage processing. Letter A, use of compactors, incinerators, and comminutors, and other such devices has a number of advantages such as making it possible to discharge certain garbage at sea which otherwise might not be permitted, reducing shipboard space requirements for storing garbage, making it easier to offload garbage in port, and enhancing assimilation of garbage discharged into the marine environment. Letter B, it should be noted that special rules on incineration may be established by authorities in some ports and may exist in some special areas. Letter C, ships operating primarily in special areas or permitted or within 3 nautical miles from the nearest land should choose between storage of either compacted or uncompacted material for offloading at port reception facilities or incineration with retention of ash and clinkers. Compactors make garbage easier to store, to transfer to port reception facilities, and to dispose of at sea when discharge limitations permit. Letter C, ship operating primarily beyond 3 nautical miles from the nearest land are encouraged to install and use comminutors to grind food waste to a particle size capable of passing through a screen with openings no larger than 25 millimeters. Storage, garbage collected from living and working areas throughout the ship should be delivered to designated processing or storage location. Number 5A, ships should use separate cans, drums, boxes, bags, or other containers for short-term disposable garbage and trip-long non-disposable garbage. Storage, short-term storage should be appropriate for holding otherwise disposable garbage within a ship is passing through a restricted discharge area. Number 5B, sufficient storage, space and equipment, that is cans, drums, bags, and other containers, should be provided where space is limited. Vessel operators are encouraged to install compactors or incinerators. 5C, food waste and associated garbage, which are returned to port and which may carry disease or pests, should be stored in tightly covered containers and be kept separate from garbage which do not contain food waste. Letter D, storage of waste, fishing gears on deck may be appropriate if materials have a strong odor or if their size is too great to permit storage elsewhere on the ship. In case where gear is fouled with marine growth or dead organisms, it may be reasonable to tow gear behind the ship for a time to wash it out before restoring. Letter E, disinfection and both preventative and remedial pest control methods should be applied regularly in garbage storage area. Number 6, disposal. Although disposal is possible under Annex 5, discharge or garbage support reception facilities should be given first priority. Following points when disposing garbage. Letter A, garbage which may be disposed of at sea can simply be discharged overboard. Letter B, floating cargo associated waste that is not plastic or other regulated under other MARPOL annexes is not permitted to be discharged into the sea. Letter C, maintenance waste are generated more or less steadily during the course of routine ship operation. Letter D, to ensure timely transfer of large quantities of ship-generated garbage to port reception facilities, it is essential for the ships or their agents to make arrangements well in advance for garbage reception. Shipboard equipment for processing garbage. Number 1, the range of portions for garbage handling aboard ship depends largely upon cost, personnel limitations, generation rate, capacity, vessel configuration, and traffic patterns. Number 2, grinding or comminuting. When not in a special area, the discharge of comminuted food waste and all other comminuted garbage, except plastic and floatable dunning, lining, and packing materials may be permitted under Regulation 3A C of this Annex 5. Shipboard equipment for processing garbage. A wide variety of food waste grinders are available in the market and are commonly fitted in most modern ship's galleys. These food waste grinders produce a slurry of food particles and water that passes easily through the required 25mm screen. Size reduction of certain other garbage items can be achieved by shredding or crushing. Machines for carrying out this process are available for use aboard ship. Letter C. Information on the development of the use of comminuters for garbage aboard ship should be forwarded to the organization. Most garbage can be compacted. The exceptions include ungrounded plastics, fiber and paper board, bulky cargo containers, and thick metal items. Compaction can be reduced the volume of garbage into bags, boxes, or briquettes when this compacted slugs are equally formed and structurally strong. They can pile up in building block form. Some of the available compactors have options such as sanitizing, deodorizing, adjustable compaction ratios, bagging in plastic or paper, boxing in cardboard, with or without plastic or wax paper lining, baling, and so forth. If grinding machines are used prior to compaction, the compaction ratio can be increased and the storage space is decreased. The compactors be installed in a compartment with adequate room for operating and maintaining the unit in a storing trash to be processed. The compartment should be located adjacent to the area of food processing and commissary storerooms. Letter F, particulars on the development and use of seafood compactors should be forwarded to the organizations or IMO. In general, the use of seafood garbage incinerators in port, in or near urban areas should be discouraged as their use will add to possible air pollution in these areas. This is the end of my video. Thank you for viewing. My next video will be MARPOL video 7, MARPOL Annex 6, part 1. Please click the subscribe button so that you will be notified on my next videos. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye. This is Chief Engineer Jose Garcia Abogan, PhD. Please like and subscribe to my channel to view my next videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.